everywhere. Maybe possibly could be. Hey, we're actually live. Cool. Very cool. I like it when it works. I do. Now the question is, did it work anywhere else? That's the big question, folks. I want to know. All right, let's see if we can access. We are a few minutes away. Actually, really only one. Did it work? My library. There we go. I shouldn't be this excited. But I am. All right. I got to connect the Bluetooth. Bluetooth. Roadcaster Pro. Then I need this dial, that dial. Okay. Connected. Is it working? Okay, it went back. Okay, we're good. Everything might be working again. Okay, yeah, my sound disappeared. Thanks. Do we try it again? I don't know if we try it again. I'm a risk taker. Well, that's not playing on there. Hang on. Or maybe I just play it through the computer. Yeah, that's an idea. Okay, let's do it that way. Let's just play it with the computer. Let's see here. I got it here. And did I put it in pictures? Yeah, I can pull it up this way. Pause. I was trying to get music to play. I couldn't get it to play. Okay. Here we go. Now it's playing. I was going to play it as an intro song.
Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for bikes, and don't drive like a jerk that no one likes.
Starting it off here. All right.
Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP.
Okay.
Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways.
I'm just letting it go. I'm going to let it play. It's got a minute to go. We're just getting some things going here. Yes, Leo wife, my wife, good morning to you. Thanks for dropping in. My wife supports me on this wonderful Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, look at that. With my music, with my whole deal with trying to get my music working, I did not get this working. Aha! I had in the background. I have the most magical of things. I have a Valentine's Day background, which is promised a pink background. Does Valentine's Day have to be pink? Is that wrong? Maybe I'm. I think everything is pink and red and whatnot. All Valentine's-y. Why can't it be blue? I don't know. Get myself all centered in the screen, looking straight at you, looking at you too for the folks that are following along on the magical Instagram. We may be joined at some point in the near future by Sergeant Campbell. It is a hope. We'll see what happens. That's kind of like not exposed well, is it? The Ask a Traffic Cop in the background. You can't really make it out. Can we zoom in? Ooh, no, that's too zoomy. All right, let's see what's going on. Here. We've got questions. Well, let's start off by this. My name is Sean Shapiro, and this is Ask a Traffic Cop, this place on the internet where you get to come and ask me questions because I'm a traffic cop and I answer traffic questions. That's how it works. I'm going to tell you where the most magical of people are. That's the Vision Zero enforcement team. We're going to talk about stuff and things that you bring up because this is really a show that's for you, by you. Yeah, because it's by me. I don't know. You ask questions, I answer them. That's how it works. As we rabbit hole into the depths of stuff. Let's see here. Okay, I've got my Vision Zero enforcement team stuff up. If you are watching on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, I do see your questions. If you're watching us on Twitter, my apologies. Go and use the scuzzy, fuzzy, smuzzy, what's it called? The scatter code? QR code in the top left-hand corner of the screen. That will take you to my link tree. You can also just type in trafficcop.ca. That'll take you to my link tree. And then you can choose another platform to ask questions, because if you can't ask questions, it's really hard for you to get answers. Unless you just hang around and watch the entire show and hope that somebody else asks the question that you are burning to know the answer to. Either way, we got you covered, sort of. We also have a library on our YouTube page of every episode we've ever done. So you can be really, really bored one day and watch everything, including our what is it called? Our magical, what is it called? Podcast. That's what it's called. Yeah, we're allowed to. We have a podcast, and it's good, and you should. We're actually just after this live stream's done, I have Robin Robertson from Turf, who's coming in to do a little short stream. We're going to talk about stuff and things, because we do that, about traffic stuff and things. Now, let's see. We have Master Technician. We have, he's in here. What is this? Okay, we got people telling me the sound had gone, and now it is back, and that is amazing. Steffi, who has a smiley, laughy face. Okay. We have a happy Valentine's Day. AJ followed. Thanks for following. And if you don't already follow us, please do, because not only do we create amazing content on a regular basis, we're live Monday to Friday from 10 to 11, and it's all for you. Denver Mayor says, is white underglow legal? Underglow is really a gray area, not just anyway. It's a gray area, and the deal is that if your underglow is mounted in such a way that the glow is not a reflection off the ground, but you can see the bulbs from the side to the front to the rear, that's going to be violating your other laws. For instance, headlights. You can't have anything other than white to the front, but if you have white to the rear and it's projecting, that's against the law. So I would avoid it. Except when you're on private property. The fact is, it's not cool anymore. It looks cool for like a second. It's not cool anymore. What do we got here? Do all cops use the same notepads, like our notebooks? We have ours custom printed for us. I'm sure that every service has them, because otherwise they'd know the telephone numbers for us instead of, it wouldn't make sense. Everyone has different ones. Some services just buy ones that are pre-printed from a company that don't have any particular information. We have all sorts of details and information and traffic or Toronto Police specifically relevant stuff. Before I get into too much into the chat and discussion, I want to tell you about Vision Zero Enforcement Team. That is a group of dedicated officers who go out every single day to make a difference. You see, they are changing driver behavior. What we do here on social media, this is the education component. We want to tell you everything that you could possibly want to know about driving safely and what would happen if you don't do it, if you don't follow the advice that we give you, if you don't follow the law. And if you choose to still do it, then it's the Vision Zero Enforcement Team that you'll be meeting, because they go out and change driver behavior one ticket at a time. It is enforcement education, or education through enforcement. In any case, they're going to give you a ticket. It's not going to feel good. And hopefully that's the last time you ever need a ticket, to remind you to do the right thing, because nothing motivates you better than a horrible memory of what went down after you were stopped for breaking the law. Hopefully it changes your behavior, and hopefully it saves a life, because it could be your life or the life of another that's saved because you stopped driving poorly. Doesn't matter if you're speeding or driving aggressively or driving distracted or driving impaired. All of those things are the focuses of the Vision Zero Enforcement Team. So the best thing is, don't break the law. You won't have to meet them. And if you do break the law, hopefully it's only a single meeting, although I do hear regularly about people who are meeting the Vision Zero Enforcement Team on a regular basis. Like yesterday, a friend of mine stopped and charged a driver for being on their cell phone for the second time. In fact, when he walked up to the car, he says, "You've already given me a ticket for this." I can only imagine what the response was. I would have said something, "And you still didn't learn." And I think there was a request for, "Could you give me a break, because, you already got me." Well, no, this is not a frequent flyer situation where you get discounts for volume. This is where you get more tickets, and then the costs and the consequences go up. See, if you're ticketed for cell phone use or under the distracted driving laws, the first time it's 3 days, a suspension, and the second time it's 7 days. And you actually, it gets more expensive. And it's supposed to, because if you're not learning the first time, it's supposed to make it so much more painful for you so that you change your driving behavior. Choices. It's all choices. No one's making you do it. All right, February 14th, where are Division Zero enforcement team members today? 12 Division and 51 Division. What does that mean? It means they're in the neighborhoods of Weston, Mountain Dennis, Rockcliffe, Smythe, Cabbagetown, Riverdale, Church and Young. These are neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play. And guess what? They deserve to be safe where they do that. Okay, Canadian Show. What's going on? If you don't already follow the Canadian Show, you really should. They do they do trivia nights, and where they do Canadian trivia. So if you think you're Canadian enough to play the game, I dare you. I dare you. Check them out. And we are just in the works of trying to come up with a trivia night for a Canadian traffic trivia. Well, it's really an Ontarian traffic trivia thing, but we're going to create a night, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to do it together because we're Canadian. Good morning, Parvin. I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm not going to try your first name because I don't want to make a mess of it. So if you can give me in phonetics, I will try and pronounce it properly. All right. We got lots of stuff to talk about, lots of questions in the chat. Oh, someone who has the name Troll Account actually has, let me just go and ban them. Okay. There we go. Yes. Thank you. They've been reported. I don't think they really care, but I don't see where it is. Maybe I can do mute them? Can I not mute them from here? I can reply to them from here. Yeah, some things I can't do the way I would like to. Oh, maybe I can do it here. That's what we'll do. Okay, stand by. Just because there are ways to deal with the silliness. So this is what I'm going to do. Oh, no. Wrong account. Here we go. Okay. Stand by. Traffic services. Go into the live. Turn my volume down. Here we are. Hey, I can see myself. Okay. We'll get them in a moment. Oh, here they are. Oh, lots of people who want to do stupid things. All right. Mutes for the entire life. Okay, I got my buttons. Now I can do stuff. Very nice. Okay, moving on. What do we have here? Oh, now I've got a thing on my screen that looks terrible. Daniel. Okay, we got all sorts of questions here. Let's go here. Oh, there. I got rid of it. All right. What do we have? We have lots of questions. Jackie even has a... apparently, a lot of people who identify as farm animals. All right. Why don't you answer with a penal code, Mr. Nice Guy? I haven't seen your question yet. and somebody wants to abolish speed limits because they don't actually have good grasp of how things work for safety. But whatever. Okay, let's go over here. If you got questions, you have another option. I could add a logo to my thing. Volley app. If you go to the scatter code in the top left, you can actually join our community. You can ask questions there, and we will play those questions on right here on the show. All right, let's get into what we got here. I can't read because the camera's not. Here we go. Oh, no, I just messed up everything, didn't I? All right, here we go. How do you deal with car drivers who forget to turn on taillights during the night? Okay, so how do we do it? They have improper lights. They have to have headlights and they have to have taillights, and if they don't, well, then they're breaking the law. So we pull them over and we give them a ticket. And now, they may get 2 tickets, as a matter of fact, because they are also responsible for having their headlights and taillights on, and they go on in conjunction. There's no front-back only switch. So if someone is riding without their headlights on, and that's their headlighting system, their taillights won't be active unless they're depressing the brake. But what they may not realize is the light that's shining out the front of the vehicle, well, guess what? That is a high beam, so they also have improper headlights. So they get 2 tickets for the price of, well, it's actually for the price of 2. There's no discount. But that's how we deal with it. We enforce it. Okay, we have, let's get rid of that one. Okay. What is this? When you say a citizen shouldn't do, I don't know what we're talking about. When you say a citizen shouldn't do something, can you back it up with a penal code? Penal code suggests you're American because we don't have a penal code here. But yeah, we can talk about code numbers, but that's not relevant. We don't need to back it up. We're telling you what the rules are. If you want to look it up, you're welcome to. If you want to take my word for it, that's great. If you don't, you can do your homework. If you really need to know the number, I suppose we could bring them up, but that's just a amount of time that we don't really want to waste on it. But I appreciate you asking the question, even though I see the angle you're going. Let's see here. My car was stolen. I was convinced. What is this? My car was stolen, and I was convicted of a red light camera offense. How do I deal with this? If the offense occurred after your vehicle was stolen, I'm assuming you have a police report. I would then go to court and say, I did not have my car. It was stolen during the time at which the offense took place. And that is pretty easy to document, considering all of the camera that took the picture and the report. All those things are documented, right? And if your vehicle was stolen and you never reported it, I imagine that they won't believe you. But that's a different story. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have Chase, who says he left a volley. Actually, I saw that, Chase. I wonder if we're going to risk crashing the device again. Let's see. Can we crash it? Back to Roadcaster Pro. And it's a volley. I'm scared. Volley. Here we go. Q&A. Regular audio business. Stand by. Bluetooth is off, so disconnected. That's really annoying. Okay. Turning up the volume. Doing it old school.
Enough to lay a charge?
It means I have to play it again.
If you drive past one of those digital signs that show you your speed, and a police officer sees it, and it's in excess of the speed limit, is that enough to lay a charge?
Is it enough to lay a charge? So I personally wouldn't lay a charge based on that. Because when I'm out there doing speed enforcement, I am making observations, I'm setting up, I'm doing all the things that I need to do to be able to cover off evidence. Could you? If you're the only vehicle there, I think you could. Because there's no question that you're speeding. It's iffy. I've never gone down this road before. Thanks for bringing up a rabbit hole. I've never thought of laying charges based on that. I would always rely on the equipment that I know all the information of and that I've done checks with. So, yeah, I wouldn't rely on it. I would set my own up. Does that mean you can't? No, I imagine you could, but then you'd have to do some dancing in court. So I don't think it's worth it. That's me. It's a personal choice. I don't think that you'd be ruled inadmissible. I think you'd have to be able to articulate a lot of stuff to do it. But I think it's a great question, and I thank you for asking. That question was sent through Volley, which is it's a community space. It's a space where you can ask questions. I fix my camera. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, this is a good question. Can an officer clock you while he's driving, or does he need, or he needs to be at a standstill? So this is a question about speed measurement devices and how it works. Here's the answer to the question. If I am doing speed measurement and I'm using a laser device, I am not aware of a laser device, at least the ones we have, require you to be stopped, physically not moving. They're not capable of moving radar or speed measurement while in motion. We do have in all of our cars and something called moving radar. It's a B3 system. Other services may have a different brand, but ours is a B3. And what that does is it gives you the ability to measure speed while the vehicle's in motion. It can do static as well, but it has antennas in the front and back. It can get you coming, going, everything and in between. So the answer to your question is depends on what they're using and where they are and how they're deploying their speed measurement device. But it's a great question. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, question about courts. Improper right turn back in September 2020. Got a court this year. Shouldn't it be withdrawn because 3 years? You'd need to go to court. Could it be withdrawn? You could always make an argument that it's been too long and it's not right. It used to be that you could put an 11B application in after about a year. That was doubled for the purposes of COVID. I don't know if 3 years is acceptable under the standards based on what's happened in the world. That's something you're going to need to discuss with court. Is it possible to have it withdrawn? It's possible. I just don't know whether or not they'll do it. So it's certainly an argument that you get to make, and you could always do it yourself or hire someone to do it for you. But good things to discuss. Hey, if you're new to the channel, you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. That was a lot of information to say in one word, but I'm going to keep going. So the deal is that I go on social media to answer your traffic and police questions. And by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, this may look weird. There's a button. I show you. See? There's a button right there. And on TikTok, when you press that button, you can actually go horizontal. So that might be something you want to do. Hey, it's a picture and a picture and a picture. You can still see the chat because you can have it step to the side and do that. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that widescreen and even widescreen videos that are uploaded to TikTok now allow you to support that view. I think this looks good too. It depends on how active you want to be. When we first started doing it, some people said, I don't like this widescreen business. But you have options. You just got to press the little button thingy. So there you go. What we got here? Josh, anyone at the car show on Saturday? OPP is going to be there. I will not be there on Saturday. I will be there on Friday. And so will Chase. So I will see Chase. Chase, you and I have to hook up at one point and say hello. Tinto Tosi says, what is spinning wheels considered on black ice? Because yesterday a cop went after a car that spun his wheels at my intersection. So losing traction temporarily is not necessarily stunt driving. However, if you were to hammer down on that gas and intentionally lose traction, that is stunt driving. Ice or no ice, intentional loss of traction is against the rules. That is stunt driving. So at least it is in Ontario. Now you're in Montreal. I don't know what the rules are there. Thank you for adding a Q to your question. Can dealer red lettering on white plates be used for daily driving on personal cars? Well, you say personal cars, so you're throwing a mix. It has to be a vehicle that is available for sale, that is actively being listed for sale in the inventory, not personally owned, but owned by the dealership. So if it's in the business's inventory for sale, then yes, it can be used as a daily driver by members of of the staff. Like a salesperson can take a daily driver home with a dealer plate, but it has to be available for sale. If it's being exclusively used by that person, is not available for sale. If you couldn't walk in and buy it, then that would be a violation. I like the questions. Chase says, I love how Carrie Schmidt is posting the Corvette under a cover as if everyone doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't read the social media that we read and look at the pictures we look at. But Carrie's awesome. He's a good guy. We were chatting, actually. We were together Thursday and Friday of last week, and we were discussing how to make it work, how to get him in the studio or do something, maybe have him remote out. But we're going to connect and do some social media together. Okay. Oh, interesting. So the person that created the question about all of the or the violator who's using the vehicle for personal use has been allegedly been using it for 4 years. So that would be a violation. That wouldn't be permitted. All right. More questions. Let's go. Hello, noise charge. How many demerit points? There's no demerit points for a noise charge. Like if you have unnecessary noise, if that's what your vehicle has alleged to have done, well, there's no points for it. I say that, and then I want to look it up to confirm, but I believe it's no points. It is not. Let's do it. We're gonna double check. I'm like 99.99999%. Yeah, noise. Let's look it up. So, unnecessary noise. It is $110 and no demerit points, as I had said. Well, I didn't say the dollar amount before, but anyway, that's a story. We don't talk about dollar amounts very often, do we? Can dash cam video be submitted of reckless driving for prosecution? It depends. I'm on a depends day. Oh, is it a Valentine's depends? No, it is a depends. So the deal is that if all of the information could be confirmed, we have a complainant, we have the time, date, location, verification of who the driver is, it's possible to lay charges. Certainly, if someone gave us footage after we stopped someone, like, hey, I was just driving behind him, I got the whole thing on tape, then we witnessed what we witnessed, we're laying charges based on that, and you're giving us supporting evidence to give us a more complete picture, but we're laying it based on our own observations. That would be the best scenario. You can also make complaints online through our online portal, and when you do that, you have the ability to file something, and that generally won't result in a charge. However, what it can do is help us build a file. See, if all sorts of people all over the city are putting in reports of one person who is just so magical that they're causing everyone to make a report because of their horrible behavior, well, when we finally catch them, we'll have 50 different, non-specific charges reports that we can then establish a pattern of behavior, and it would support what we're catching that person doing, so that when it comes time to go to court, we say, well, we have 50 other reports. They can't go to the charge, but they can give a backstory. So let's see here. Chase asks, a police officer would have to notice it or have it reported. If you have some other drivers on our roads, I'm sure you can. Okay, we're talking about. We're talking about. Oh, what are we talking about? What kind of license plate covers are legal? I see so many tinted plate covers on the road. This is one of the most popular. Actually, it's a horribly unpopular answer. No license plate cover or frame is legal. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Cannot have any. The only thing you can have on your plate is your plate. You cannot obstruct it at all. And people say, well, it's clear. Why would it be? Why can't you use it? Well, clear ones are not optically correct. They generally have a bulge or bubble or optical distortion, and that could prevent an automated license plate reader, ALPR, from reading the plate. It may also cause, reflection or issues with, an officer's ability to see it, and that is a problem. Can I be pulled over by a Toronto Police tow truck? A Toronto Police tow truck doesn't generally pull people over. Could you be pulled over if it was being operated by a police officer? It has emergency lights, and the rules say that you have to pull over for the emergency lights. So you wouldn't know who's operating the vehicle unless you knew, but you don't know. So I would say if the red and blue lights are going on, you pull over because that's what the requirement is. I can't imagine that it would be a tow truck operator pulling you over, though. That would not be appropriate. Let's see here. Canadian Show says, but the new plates are horrible. The new plates should be removed. Those should be taken back. And I think there was a plan to get rid of those. But they are horrible to read. But you can't cover those up either. And just because they stink doesn't mean that they're illegal. They should be replaced, in my opinion. What is this? Someone should make a plate cover out of AS1 the most optically correct. Well, technically, you can't even do that. You can't put anything on top of it. But that would be better than non-optically correct. Okay, let's get back into some other questions. This question seems to come up on a regular basis. Do I have to give ID to police even if I haven't done anything wrong? If you are operating a motor vehicle in the province of Ontario, you are behind the wheel of that vehicle, operating the vehicle. You're required to provide license, ownership, and insurance upon demand, regardless of whether or not you've broken a law, because we're allowed to pull you over to check if your license status is valid, if you have a license, if you have insurance, and if you're sober. And we're also allowed to check the fitness of the vehicle, but you are required to provide that information. Now, if you're being investigated for any HTA offense and you're a passenger in the car, for instance, you weren't wearing your seatbelt or it's alleged that you aren't, well, then you have to provide identification. Or you can be arrested. Driver or passenger could be arrested until such time that we were able to verify your identity. If you're walking down the street and we say, hey, you, got ID? That's different. If you haven't done anything wrong, you're not being investigated, you don't have to provide identification. And that's a different situation. Walking down the street, hey, do you have ID? You got your name? Who are you? You don't really have to tell us anything. Now, if I'm investigating you for some reason and I can articulate that, then yeah. And here's the deal. You're better off, I'm not giving you legal advice, but in my opinion, if I'm asking you for something and I say I'm investigating you and you don't believe me, put in a complaint. I'd still give the information because it's better than going down I'd question the officer. What do you want it for? Why? Why are you asking me? That's reasonable. But then at the end of the day, you're better off not getting arrested. I think you make the complaint afterwards and you cooperate with police. That's what I think. Okay. What course should I take first? Police Foundations or OACP? OACP is a certificate. It's not a course. It's to get you into the application process. So that is when you are capable of passing all your tests. And if you can pass all the tests, and it's possible to get hired without Police Foundations. Is Police Foundations a good thing to take? It could be if you can't get hired directly. If you can pass everything and do everything and you have lots of life experience, try it. The worst that happens is you don't get hired this round. Then go take a Police Foundations or other program and continue along until you can get hired. So very often people will say, take minimum requirements is grade 12. The better you can make yourself as a candidate, the better. So if you are a young person and you've got lots of years until you are eligible, then a good foundation and going through schooling is good. Hey, become a doctor, lawyer, accountant, nothing to stop you from doing those things. And then you just make yourself a really fantastic candidate when you come over to us. Okay. Is there a law for how bright your headlights should be? There are 2 bright headlights on the road. Yeah, there is a maximum. I can't think of what that maximum is. I mean, I can tell you that you have to have no more than 4 headlights that are producing minimum of 300 candela per bulb. That's a maximum of 4. So you can't have any of those highway or off-road lights. Those aren't permitted. Let's see here. Interesting question. But I have to look, so I have to make a note because, and by the way, as I make a note for my homework, how bright? Max, okay. How bright is max? No, how bright max headlights? My note, because yesterday I made a note, and it was about expired inspection stickers. Used to be called devices. Now apparently they've changed everything, and they call them stickers because they are stickers. Who'd have thunk? All right, so the question is, the question yesterday was, what is the fine for having an expired one? So it's under Section 85.1. It's operate vehicle, fail to display inspection sticker or proof of inspection. It's a $240 fine. That was to answer for yesterday, and I'm glad that making the note today has a big check mark. I actually said the words. And then tomorrow, I'll recap about this headlight business because I'll look it up today. Okay. Someone said, Chase wants to know, can you get a warning for stunt driving? There may be a policy that the police service imposes saying they don't want you to give warnings for it. I wouldn't give a warning for it because I think it's something that people should be charged for. Could someone say that they're going to charge them for less and drop it by a kilometer to not take their car? Sure, but what benefit is that? How is that helping society? The idea is to take you off the road, to teach you a lesson and hold you accountable for your actions. So I can't imagine someone doing that, but could they? There's no law preventing them from doing it. You look at murder. Murder says thou shalt arrest, not you may arrest. Shoplifting is you may arrest, right? Minor stuff is going to be there's a difference depending on the gravity. But stunt driving, I do not believe that it's a shall. I believe it's a may. What do we do here? Okay. And there's a discussion going on here about security guards and whether or not they have to provide identification. They have to have their number displayed, their security guard number. Let's see here. All right. How many drinks can I have and drive? And if you get stopped, what are the consequences of telling? Telling? So here's the deal. If you are a learner or a young person, what is the terminology? It's a learner or... can't remember the other word. It's one of those days. So how many drinks? If you're part of the graduated licensing program, 0. You can have 0 because you have a 0 BAC requirement, blood alcohol content of 0. If you're talking about you have a G-class license and you're 21, 0 because you still have a 0 BAC requirement. A lot of people get confused. It's 22 till you can have more than 0 BAC if you're not a graduated licensed holder. So, hang on a second. Testing the cough here. The mute works. Okay. I was gonna sneeze or make some kind of noise. Press the button, then I didn't have to do it anymore. Crazy. Okay. So if you have and aside from the fact that once you're 22 and if you're a G-class driver, you don't have to maintain a 0, but if you reach 0.05, well, now you're going to get a 3-day suspension if you get pulled over and blow a warn range. If you blow a warn range, what's the word? If you get a warn range suspension, that's what I was thinking. You're going to get a 3-day suspension for the first warn range, and if you get it again within 10 years, you get a 7-day, I believe, the second time. So that's if you don't hit the criminal threshold, which is 0.8 and above, because 0.05 to 0.079 is a warn range suspension. Beyond that, it's going to be criminal. And there's all sorts of consequences. But here's the worst thing. It's not the worst thing. This is a truth. Impairment can take place at any level of alcohol or drug consumption. It's going to be different for everybody. So what one person may feel fine and push the limits, even though it's not advised, they may not kill someone because of the amount of alcohol they have in their system. The next person might. So I can't give you a how many drinks you can have because everybody is different. Biology is different. How you metabolize alcohol is going to be different. The best answer, though, is none. Never drink with any alcohol. There are so many other options available to you. Just stick with that. All right. How much volunteering should I do before becoming a constable? Before applying for a constable? The answer is do what you can do. There's no threshold. Don't just volunteer so you can make the minimum cut and then apply. Volunteering is something you should do because you want to volunteer and contribute. Yes, it is something that police services want to see, but they also recognize when people just do it to check a box. So my suggestion would be do something you like and then do it well and do it regularly. It's not a simple thing. Thanks, Chase. It's novice driver. That was the word I was looking for, not youthful driver. All right. What is this? What happens if I don't have active insurance on my motorcycle if I'm pulled over? Well, then you're not insured. Active or not active. It's called insurance or no insurance. There's no quasi-active. You could have fire and theft on it, which means you can't go on the road, or you can have insurance for the road. There's no in between. So if you're pulled over and you have no insurance, a couple of things are going to happen. One, you're going to get charged. The consequences for that lack of insurance: $5,000 to $25,000. First conviction, up to 6 months in jail. They can give you the fine or the jail, or they can give you both. I think they should put everybody in jail. Yeah, I think that if you get pulled over with no insurance, especially if it's a pattern of behavior, jail. Straight to jail. People get really upset. What do you mean jail? That's so mean. You're putting lives at risk. You know what happens if you hurt somebody when you have no insurance? They don't get paid. They have all sorts of costs involved with being injured, loss of income. You put their entire family in jeopardy because someone was too lazy or too selfish not to put proper insurance on the vehicle before hitting on the road. Yeah, there's no excuse. I have no sympathy. No sympathy. You can't afford the insurance. Don't drive. Don't ride. What is this? Does police service notify the insurance company when a driver is suspended? No, we don't report to insurance companies. So I'm not aware of any mechanism in place. Now, insurance companies are responsible to do their own checks, and they can check to see if they could do every period of, I don't know how often they do it, but they could choose to do a check. So if you were changing companies, if you were changing policies, if you were making any change to your policy at all, that might trigger a check. I really don't know how their policies work because every company is going to be different. But when it comes time for a rate review, they're going to see that suspension because it shows up on your license history. What is this? I wonder if this is the actual headline that came up. Headline this morning: Toronto police spent $337,000 on a podcast to avoid being perceived as propaganda. Josh, I got to go read that article. But they certainly didn't spend $337,000 on our podcast. That's got nothing to do with us as traffic services because I don't get paid special for doing anything. This is one of the many things I do. And this isn't the podcast, actually. This is the live stream. We do have a podcast. It's something else. That is the Traffic Jam podcast, of which we have 16 episodes. And I need to record another one Thursday. We've got a couple of amazing guys, divisional guys, who are doing a racing program. It's a racing program, and you'd think I'd actually have the information in front of me when I reference it. So let's pull it up. Let's pull up the information. Open my Calendly. Where is it? Here we go. I wanted to give you a little bio because it's going to be. I'm going to try. We might even go live. We'll see. We're going to see what we got here. Here. So we got Blaze coming into the office. It's Right Track Racing. Now, Right Track Racing is a nonprofit organization, and Blaze, who is a police officer, used to build and race cars in Scarborough. Jeff, who is his partner in this, is an amateur racer who loves cars. They have a passion for a program to create a safe space for youth to get involved with racing in a safe way. They've got a race car that's coming from the paint shop, and they're getting it ready for the summer. They have some upcoming events that we're going to talk about, and and they've teamed up with an all-women's drifting team. That sounds cool. So I've just told you a whole bunch of stuff about what's going on this coming Thursday. I'm really excited to have them coming in. Oh, Chase says this is in relation to something. It's a real article in the CBC. Chase looked it up. He says this is in regards to 24 Shades of Blue. I've watched a couple episodes of that. Let's see here. Oh, what are the odds of being pulled over? Sorry, what are the chances of getting randomly pulled over on a motorcycle if following all the legal road rules? Is this to avoid insurance? Here's the thing. I'm a motorcycle guy. I'm a motorcycle officer. Used to be in the motor squad. Would I pull someone over? If I'm watching someone, and this is all going to be separate and individual for every officer, but as a motor officer, I'm looking for someone who doesn't look confident. Because if I don't see someone confident on the road, I'm going to look up to see if they're actually licensed. I can't tell you how many people don't have their license. They don't have a proper motorcycle license. They just do silly things. And could you be pulled over? We can pull you over just for the purposes of ensuring that you are properly licensed. Totally legitimate thing to do, and we do it on a regular basis. So is it possible to be pulled over while you're doing everything right? Sure. We're also looking for we're checking your plates, and with automated license plate readers, you're going to, if you don't have proper insurance or coverage, or the owner doesn't come back as properly licensed, expect to be pulled over. But it's not random. It's to investigate, to find out if people are doing what they're supposed to do. And a follow-up question, do officers hate or dislike motorcycle riders? No, I am not there is no hate for anybody. It just happens to be that certain motorcycles tend to cause issues. But if you have a spec bike, like everything is the way it's supposed to be, you don't have to have a hidden plate, you're doing everything right, I don't just randomly pull people over. There's a reason, there's something that I'm observing that gives me cause to want to investigate further. Let's see here. All right. Okay, moving on. And Hassan, who's put up this statement saying, currently pay $400 a month for insurance, trying to see if there's another way. Take a professional riding course. That is a way to get more experience and show them that you are doing the right thing. Being a properly trained rider and having a good record is the best way to lower your insurance rates. But not having insurance is not an option at all. Get charged with that in your driving career, and costs are going to go way, way, way up. All right. Moving on. Going back to the other section. Hey, Nick Ken just followed the host. Cool. And Maddie, welcome, Maddie. Jeff House is here. Jerome, what's going on? Rebecca, how you doing? Sunny, hey, how you doing? Fendi, all sorts of people jumping into the chat. Hey, if you're watching and you haven't followed us before, or you don't know who we are, this channel is the official channel of traffic services of the Toronto Police. That is a unit that is the citywide traffic response unit. We investigate collisions. We enforce the Highway Traffic Act. We have a commercial vehicle inspection team. We have a reconstruction unit. We have a motor squad, the motorcycle team. We're just an amazing Swiss Army knife of specialty skills in this building. But this is the Traffic Safety Programs Office, and we talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. We answer your questions Monday to Friday from 10 to 11. It's where we get to chat, to talk about what's up, what's new, what you need to know about. Dad jokes, yeah, if you got dad jokes, throw them in the chat. If you're watching on any platform other than Twitter, well, you can ask questions. We'll see them here. If you're on Twitter, you need to follow that link in the top left-hand corner of the screen, or go to trafficcop.ca and join one of the other platforms, because Twitter, you can watch, but you can't ask questions, which I apologize in advance for. Nick says, how's your day going? It's going well. Thanks for asking. We're here answering traffic and police questions for another 20 minutes or so. And then I got to do a podcast episode that isn't $337,000, whatever that number was. Okay. What is this? What options does a driver have? Oh, I've been ignoring the folks on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. What options does a driver have if they get ticketed by a police officer for a red light failed to stop after they realize they also got a ticket from a red light camera for the same offense? That's up to the courts. Technically, the officer's one has greater costs involved. If you were to plead guilty to that one and then you went in court and showed them that you already got covered, maybe they would withdraw one of them. You shouldn't run red lights. But I don't have a solution for you, because that's something that's really going to be up to the courts as to whether or not they pursue both charges, because they're different charges, but they're the same charge. You shouldn't get hit twice, in my opinion. Are we enforcing UFO traffic violations? Fantastic question. I haven't yet to see any. Listen, if I find an extraterrestrial speeding, I'm going to try and stop them. Unsafe driving or flying just not going to happen on my watch. Is it necessary to have a physical car registration if police pull you over? Absolutely. If you are pulled over by police, you are required to surrender upon demand your driver's license, the actual card. You have to have your physical car record. Well, you can have one option. There is one option. You can have your actual ownership piece of paper as issued on the green paper from the ministry, or a photocopy, a true copy being front and back of a valid version, and that is an acceptable alternate. But you must currently provide either your pink slip on paper or through an approved application from your insurance provider, an electronic version of your insurance. But you must provide that proof or you're eligible for a ticket. Ticket for not having your registration in any form would be, for not having the paper or photocopy, original or photocopy, that's $110. Your license not having that with you is $110, and it's $65 for not having your proof of insurance. Not to mention that if we actually don't think you have insurance, that is a far more serious charge. This is just not being able to provide the proof. Okay. Oh, interesting. Since we don't need to replace our plate stickers anymore, should we leave old stickers on or remove them? I suggest removing them. I have not removed mine. Mine still say, 2022 on them. However, if I go to the States, I may have some splaining to do in that someone may look at it and think I have expired plates even though they're valid. And a question about digital alerts and what people can do to be notified about renewals. Well, guess what? I have a link on my link tree, and can I point to the right place here? Where am I pointing? No, over here. Hey, there. There. I've never tried pointing at this before. Okay, that code right there, if you scan it, or if you look down to the trafficcop.ca website, which is streaming across your screen occasionally, that will take you to my link tree. That link tree has a link, useful links at the bottom. It will take you and give you websites to check to see if your friend's license is valid before they borrow your car. They'll give you a plate or a website to check the VIN number of a vehicle that you're interested in purchasing to make sure it's not stolen. And when you go to that renewal link, I'm pretty sure I did it to mine. Now I'm questioning myself. Let me open the link tree. There should be a link for renewing your plates. And guess what? It's the same site for everything. Scrolling. I got a big link tree here. Loading. All right. Renew your license plate. Yes. Driving in Canada for those who are moving to the province and to actually it covers the entire country. In any case, there are renew your license plate links, so there is a link there. Check that out and use it to set up automatic renewal notification. You can do that for your health card, your license plate, your driver's license. 3 things. And you can set it up and then it'll notify you. You can choose to be notified by text, by email, even a voice call. It'll call you and leave you a message. So the things we make available so you can have good information. That's huge. You don't want it. Like, it used to be that people would do like a circle check in their car once every 12 months. You should be doing it like every time you get in the car. But people do it very infrequently. But they would be reminded by the sticker that has their birth month and the year of expiry. They don't have that anymore, so they forever. A lot of people forgetting to renew. So you need to set those reminders up. Put it in your calendar. You don't need somebody else to tell you. You could just tell yourself. You know when your birthday is. You know it's either one or every year or 2 years. Put a reminder in. Okay. How long does it take a G2 license holder to change to get a G license? You need to have a G2 for at least 12 months. But how long it takes you will depend on how quickly you practice, study, and acquire the skills to pass the test. And when you schedule a test, it could take you a year plus a day. It could take you 5 years. Now, if you do end up taking 5 years, your original license is going to expire, and you'll have to, figure out an extension, which is either taking the G2 test again or starting all over. I would take the G2 test. Don't you still need to get the renewal sticker? No, man. There's no more stickers. Now, that is for any vehicle. I shouldn't say any vehicle. For most vehicles under 3,000 kilos, including mopeds and motorcycles and personal vehicles and light trucks. Those don't require stickers. If you have a commercial vehicle, you're still going to get a sticker. If you have a snowmobile, it really bugs the Sarge. But yeah, you need a renewal sticker. All right. Carrie posted a video yesterday while in a cruiser with ALPR. In 20 minutes, there were 32 plates expired. Yeah, it's horrendous. Horrendous. People need that link. It's free. There's no excuse. It's free. I don't understand. I just don't. Okay. Are tinted license plates illegal, like the blackout covers? You can still see it, though. No obstruction, nothing at all. Dirt, listen, just having dirt on your license plate is technically illegal. You can't obstruct it in any way, shape, or form. It's your responsibility to ensure it's clear, and a covering of any kind, plastic, clear, or tinted, is illegal. Even a license plate frame, you cannot cover any amount of it. Yesterday, I saw a license plate that had a sticker. Someone put a sticker of a flag from their home country, I assume, on the plate. That's illegal. You can't modify or change it. You can't stick stuff to a plate. The plate doesn't even belong to you. It's illegal. You can get arrested for modifying a plate. It's actually an arrestable offense. All right. When traveling outside of Ontario with a renewed vehicle plate sticker, do I need anything else? Well, there's no sticker, so you've renewed the plate with your imaginary, fictional, no longer existing sticker. I don't know what to call it, the invisible sticker. That's what it is. There's no sticker. So how do you? Well, any police agency who looks up the plate will see whether or not the plate is valid. It's expired or not valid, it will say so. If you really want to make sure that you are covered, print out the receipt that is emailed to you in PDF. I think it's PDF. Just print out the receipt, and then you have proof. I imagine being outside of the province would potentially, or out of the country, I should say, could see an officer pulling you over for having an expired sticker. Having no sticker, though, then you just look like every other vehicle. It looks like it's normal. Okay. Because outside of Ontario, they're still connected. Okay, carry alcohol in car if not drinking. Can carry alcohol in car if not drinking? So it depends if it's sealed or not sealed. If it's sealed, it can be stored anywhere in the vehicle. Factory sealed, anywhere in the vehicle. Closed but not factory sealed, it can be stored in the vehicle. It can be transported but not in the reach of the driver, which means backseat is best. Trunk is best. Backseat and away is possible if it's truly out of the reach of the driver, but that could be argued in court. I say trunk is best, even though I said backseat for some reason. I did not mean it. The deal is trunk is best place. Now, marijuana, same deal. You can have it factory sealed anywhere in the vehicle. Once its seal is broken, it must be out of reach of the driver. I have renewed the registration, but I still haven't gotten my new registration paper. If you renewed it, it's instantaneous update. So we would see that update in the system. But you did, when you ordered it, get a receipt. So if you want to carry that as proof, that is a good idea. What is this? If you had to go to the bathroom while driving a big truck and you parked in front of a no parking sign, well, I imagine you might get a parking fine. No parking means no parking, even if you got to pee. There's no. You can go to court and explain that you did that because you were going to have an accident in your pants, and they might reduce it. That's up to the courts. You were violating the law when you parked there, regardless of why. Oh, do older people need a doctor's certificate to renew the license? So at a certain age, they start adding different things to ensure that people are still, to see that they were all, I'm reading something from CJ. Okay, cool. I'll check on that stuff in a bit. I got lots of chat windows going. There's lots happening here. Okay. Let's start this again. Do older people need doctor's certificates to renew a license? So as you get older, they start adding more requirements to your license, like your renewal process. So it might be an eye test, it might be a written test, and it might be a driving test as you get older. And Sarge, have you had a? They haven't started making you do extra work to renew your license, have you?
What are you saying?
You're not that much older than me.
I'm a little older.
Here, let me move my bags. I suggested you might have been coming at 10 o'clock, but I guess you got stuff and things to do.
Stuff and things.
And I think I figured out why the headphones weren't providing sound to you. So let's see.
Oh, I got you.
You got me now. Okay.
I got you, but I don't have me.
That's on purpose. It's called mix minus. I can give you back to you.
No, this is good.
Okay. But yes, we figured out the right. I got to tell you, the last device we were using before we got this one, I got to put your camera on. So
Oh, that's okay. We're both We're actually both in the
This is better.
frame there. Yeah, am I looking at you?
I don't know. We're working on it. We're trying to we're making it better. We're playing with different stuff and things. So the question was, when you get older, do you have to start getting a doctor's certificate, or what are the requirements? So I don't know what the age is. Is it 80?
80. 80 is the first year for additional testing requirements, and I believe it's every 2 years after that. The MTO website and the Service Ontario website have really good detailed requirements in there for drivers to do.
I can raise this up a bit. Ooh. I don't know if that's better or worse. Okay. There's the question for the older people, or people wanting to know about older people. What is this? It's so silly to have to renew now. What's the point? Well, it's actually, I'm really glad you asked, because the point is that if you have parking tickets or infractions against your license and you don't renew it, they won't let you renew. So it's a way of ensuring that you have insurance and pay your fines.
Nothing has really changed, other than we get the benefit of not having to pay for it.
And that is a benefit.
So, yep. All other jurisdictions as well, you have to renew at a specified time. We're just lucky enough, for the time being anyways, while this government's still in power, to not have to pay for certain things.
And they might bring it back.
And you know what? You still have to renew your driver's license and your health card. It's a good thing too. You can sign up for reminders for that. There's an online sign up you can do, so the MTO will send that out to you. It's really, really good.
Yeah, there we go. The link is right there. In the bottom of that link tree, there is a button that you can press to get to the renewal page. I have a link there.
And you know what? It's a better way to do that than find out on the side of the road that your car and your driver's license are no longer valid, and it's getting hooked up on the back of a tow truck.
Tow truck bad. Well, actually, they're very good when you need them, but it doesn't feel good when you don't want to tow your car.
They cost money.
Yes.
Lots.
Yes. What happens if you're pulled over and you don't have your wallet, which has your license in it? It depends.
Your wallet isn't the problem. The license is.
Yes. So you're required by law to surrender it for demand, or upon demand, for reasonable inspection of a police officer. And the fact is, you may or may not get a ticket. That is something that you may very well be charged for. It's $110.
And we're not just going to let you go. We're going to investigate to find out who you are. You may be able to convince a police officer who you are with maybe some supporting information or documentation. But if you're not, we're not going to be letting you go until we can confirm it.
Here's a great question. Is it a legal requirement to cross the chains when towing?
No.
Really?
It is not a legal requirement to cross it. The reason you cross chains, you need two means of attachment. So usually you have two separate safety chains along with the ball coupler to hold it on. So to cross the chains at the bottom is for the unlikely event that your ball coupler comes off. Mm-hmm. The chains are supposed to cradle the tongue of the trailer off the ground as you're slowing down.
So it's best practices, but it's not required, specifically outlined as crossing chains?
Yep, that's exactly it. So, no, you don't have to, but if you get the added benefit that it's going to be a little bit safer, your trailer will track straighter if it becomes detached, and it'll stay behind you a little bit easier.
I always thought it was a requirement, but then again, I was just taught the way to do it, and it's like making the brisket in 2 pans versus 1, just the way I was shown, so I've always done it that way.
I've never made a brisket.
Well, there was a story about a brisket and someone cutting the tips off and putting it in, and mom said, anyway. Okay, we have a question. G&M should have at least a vision and written test to renew, like an A to F truck and buses, and Z endorsement. This is Michael, who is giving us his opinion. You know what? You mean so every time you'd have to do a vision test? Listen, I think people should have to do annual requalifications for the driver's license. Based on what I'm seeing on the road, there's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing and shouldn't be there.
Or can't see what they're doing.
That could be an issue, too.
It is a requirement of your doctor to report it to the ministry if you're not able to see properly. If it's uncorrected vision, then they may pull your driver's license from you.
Yeah, and when I had laser surgery, I didn't require glasses anymore. I had to go get a vision test. I voluntarily got that done, so I wouldn't require glasses. Now I wear glasses again, but only for reading. And
you know what? Eyes change. You want to be able to see the best you can while you're out there. Take advantage of everything that you have out there.
Well, it's just like wearing headphones. Why would I want to take away the ability to hear certain sounds that might prevent me from getting involved in a collision because it gave me that extra warning?
Yep.
Seeing farther, better, sharper, clearer. These are all good things.
You know what? I don't need glasses to drive. It's not a legal requirement. My eyesight is not that bad, but I wear them all the time just to make it that much better.
Absolutely. I like being able to see properly. Chase asks, did anyone give out roses at Nine Hannah today? I have not seen any roses. Some people chose to give certain people chocolates and not to others.
I didn't get any.
I didn't get any. And he didn't even like think of us.
You know what? Maybe because it was my comment yesterday that said I don't like February 14th.
Oh, that could be it. He was giving you he was teaching you a lesson. Costas says, I know a guy without a license driving all the time, and I have it on camera. What can I do? Well, I think you could call Crime Stoppers. I think you could make a police report online because you believe that is the case, but it's not a 911 call.
Right. No, we definitely would like to know about it. Report it to police. Let us know. We will investigate. We will follow up. The division there will set up and take the appropriate action. You may not think he has a driver's license. There may be a reason that you may think that or may not think that, but we have to confirm before we take any action.
Absolutely. Do you have to get pepper sprayed and tased before you become a cop?
I don't believe the requirements are anymore.
Well, I don't know if you ever had to. I mean, I was exposed to pepper spray twice because I went through the police college twice for courts. That was pepper foam. They didn't do direct contact, but they made us go into the room after they deployed it, and you had to do the same thing because you did that. Yep. And then when I went PC, there was the get sprayed directly in the face, and it was an option.
So me being the old guy that I am, I was issued a taser, one of the first ones, because originally it was just supervisors that got tasers. And I did get tasered. And yep, I'm going to tell you, it hurts.
Really?
It hurts. It hurts so much until the power's turned off, and then you are 100% better.
Wow.
It's like absolutely excruciating pain to nothing.
I wanted to get tased. I had totally prepared myself mentally for being tased. And then I got there and said, we don't tase you anymore. I'm like, what? I wanted to go on the ride, and now I don't want to go on the ride because now it's years later, and I have no interest in trying a taser.
I do have a story where a police officer did actually get caught up in the wires of one of my deployments.
Oh, yeah?
And it worked on him too.
Yeah, it's funny. Pepper spray and tasers are said to be 100% effective on police.
Yeah.
I think we actually, before it even makes contact, we're anticipating it. It's that, yeah. Let's see. So someone said, don't rat on other people in relation to the whole, reporting someone who's driving without a license. No, yeah, rat on people because someone who's driving without a license or driving without insurance or driving impaired, they're putting lives at risk, and they shouldn't be. There's no right. They have no right to do it. So what if they were to do what they're doing and hurt someone you care about? Then suddenly you'd be having a different conversation, I imagine.
What about hurt you directly?
Yeah.
And then you have no insurance because it's not properly licensed. And what do? No, it doesn't make sense at all. No. You know what? If we're all following the rules, then we all get to follow rules.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Okay, what do we have here? How much volunteering should you have to do before applying to constable? So we talked about this briefly. Now, something I really haven't gone into depth with today was the fact that we are currently hiring. So www.tps.ca/careers for everything you'd ever want to know about becoming a police officer with the Toronto Police Service. We're also hiring for other positions, both civilian and there's civilian and civilian uniforms. So court, special constable, parking enforcement officer, those are being looked at right now, as well as a whole bunch of other jobs, so like IT jobs and clerical jobs. So if you want a job with a great organization, now is the time to apply. But how much volunteering should you do? You should be doing it, and you should be doing it not just to meet a threshold. Do it because it's something you want to do. And because if you're doing it and you're faking it, you're going to have a terrible review, and it's going to be very transparent when you apply.
Yep. You know what? People that want to give back to their community are the type of people we want to hire. So if you're going to do it, keep doing it.
John says, is the Sarge related to Sean? They look alike. Same hairstyle. We go to the same barber, I think.
Exactly.
Actually, this is a question we asked, and I didn't have an answer, so I made a note to talk about it later. And since you're here and you know lots of stuff, is there a law for how bright your headlights should be? There are too many bright headlights on the road. So there's a maximum. I was thinking Kelvin last time. That's temperature and color, not actual brightness. Do you know the brightness maximum?
It's candela.
Do you know how many?
No, I don't.
No, neither do I. Because it's a minimum of 300. To be considered a headlight, it's 300 candela. That part I remember. And you can have no more than 4 bulbs at 300, above 300 candela. But I cannot remember for the life of me what the maximum is.
So LED technology has changed an awful lot lately. The aftermarket LED lights, or the light bars that people are using on the front of the vehicles, 100% not lawful. Anything more than 4 can only be used off-road. And the whole idea is to make you be able to see better without affecting everybody else negatively.
Right.
By driving. So I don't know. I don't know what the number is. Write it down.
I wrote it down.
We'll,
and yesterday we were talking about inspection devices, or the stickers for commercial vehicles, and I could not remember what the fine was. So I wrote it down, and then I talked about it. I put a check mark to say I talked about it. And that's a $240 fine. Did you know that yesterday? We were talking about it.
No, I didn't catch that question. I wasn't around for that one. So
how do you know if a car doesn't have insurance without pulling them over?
You don't.
Well, there's indicators when we look at the MTO to say whether or not they think you have insurance. That doesn't mean we know you do or don't. So what we do is we investigate.
You know what? If you don't update your license plate, that is one of the ones I look at and go, well, what? Why haven't you done that? Because it's free. Is there other stuff going on here that's wrong?
Yeah, like you don't pay your fines, or you don't have a license, or there's just issues.
So in Ontario, we're it's good and it's bad, my personal opinion, that we have independent companies providing insurance. It's good because independent companies will keep the cost down because they're all fighting over you for your business. The bad thing is they're a private industry, and they keep their own record keeping, and they don't always share in real time with the ministry or with us. So for us to find out and confirm sometimes can be a bit of an arduous task to do.
But we have 3 years. We have 3 years to lay the charge for insurance.
Yep.
So if we pull you over and you provide us a phony story and we can't confirm it then, we have 3 years to lay that charge, which means we get to do some homework, and we like homework, oddly enough.
Actually, those ones I like doing. I'll spend extra time to find out that you lied to me, because then it's not that it's personal, but
you're protecting the public. It's important.
Exactly.
It's important. You know, insurance is one of those things that we acknowledge sucks to have to pay. No one likes paying insurance. But when you consider how much good it does for the people who need it, I was involved in a collision. They paid for therapy. They paid for physical rehabilitation. They replaced my vehicle, or at least repaired it. And it was to the tune of $20,000 in damage. That's the stuff that if that's not there, it's a big problem. So you can't say, well, the other guy had insurance, so you still got covered. Well, yeah, but then that person's rates go up. It's just not a good thing. So that if you don't want to pay insurance, no problem. Don't drive. Simple as that. Oh, that was the question was, it was, what does OPP use for clocking while moving, and how accurate is it? I don't know what device they use. I can tell you what we use. We use a moving radar system, and the different devices will be made available, and it will change as technology changes. So the make and models are relevant, but it's moving radar, and it's capable of determining the speed of the vehicle we're in, as well as the vehicle and the difference between the vehicle we're measuring, and determining that total speed, or that the actual speed. So it'll deduct our speed, or it does math.
It does math.
It does
yes.
math.
It knows what you're going. It knows what the other vehicle's going, whether it be going away from you or coming at you. From the front or from the rear.
And based on coming or going, it knows that it's addition or subtraction, see math.
Yep.
And at the end, it uses that magical technology to determine the actual speed. And it's not simply the machine told us you were speeding. We're making evaluations based on our observations, and they're confirming those observations and estimations. So,
yeah, the speed you're actually going on the radar only determines the fine that is laid. You're speeding, and I have to make a determination you're speeding before I have to be satisfied you're speeding before I look at the number to see.
Yeah, And people, it's funny. I watched it. There's a lawyer in BC on TikTok, and I watch her stuff. She has great content, and it's odd. I'm watching stuff telling people how to get out of tickets, and I do it because I'm always interested to know the perspective of the lawyer, and something she said in a recent video. She said people give evidence and hurt themselves when they give evidence in defense of speeding. Because what they very often say is, well, I wasn't speeding that much. I was only speeding this much, not realizing that speeding is speeding at any speed. It's still speeding. 1 kilometer over is speeding. You've just convicted yourself.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I really like listening to her or watching her content. Let's see here.
There's a whole bunch of people that are searching for that right now.
Yes. Oh, for sure. And this isn't a secret. It's just like people say, well, I'm going to fight that. Well, okay, based on what? People fight everything. Well, do you have an actual defense? What is a defense? Well, I wasn't speeding that much is not a defense. Just isn't. So don't waste the court's time. Take your licks. If you really are guilty, why wouldn't you just take responsibility? I know it's crazy. If I'm in high school and I get in a fight and I badly hurt the other guy, will I go to jail? It's possible.
So you can consent to an assault. You can have a consensual fight. You cannot consent to bodily harm. It's in the criminal code. Case law says you cannot do that. So yes, if you hurt somebody, yeah, absolutely.
When you say badly hurt, I'm assuming it's a significant injury. So if you're breaking bones and putting someone in the hospital to the point where, because you can't beat someone senseless, but if someone has a fight, like you said, a consensual fight, you go to martial arts, you go to boxers are consensually fighting.
Yep.
But at a certain point, the fight gets pulled when the boxer is no longer responsive, or even before that.
Right. So bodily harm is defined in the criminal code as, I believe it's beyond merely transient and trifling, I think is the words that's used in the criminal code.
I think so.
That's a long time ago. I pulled that out of the memory banks.
Yeah, that bank is closed. It was rusty and shut. And yeah. Can I apply for a driver's license with just my Ghana license? Okay, another link down inside there. It's so weird to try and touch something that doesn't exist. Okay, so there. If you go to that link or go to trafficcoff.ca, there is a link for information about people who are new to the province, new to the country, and what their license is and so on. It's great information if you're a newcomer. It'll tell you everything. And certain places are given status directly for direct exchange. Some places will give you status, or will give you credit for experience, but will still make you test. So it depends. I don't know if Ghana is on the list or what they will give you, but that's the place to check. If that doesn't work for you, check out drivetest.ca, which I'm going to put a link to that in the same place where I'm going to point somewhere another time. It's so weird when two hands show up when I go there. It's weird. A lot of waves. It looks like you're waving and I'm waving, and we have the same ring. Okay, dad jokes, and then we're 11 minutes into the next hour, and I have somewhere to be.
So, Sean, what's Cupid's favorite band?
Something to do with archery.
No, of course it's Kiss.
My cousin's the travel agent for Kiss.
Really?
Yeah, they should, yeah. Or at least I don't know if she still is, but she was. I assume she would be. Okay, the one from the less funny. Calendar, a word of dating advice. If he doesn't appreciate your fruit jokes, you need to let that man go.
Mango?
That's not bad.
What did one eye say to the other eye?
No. What?
Something between us smells.
It's not bad. It's not that bad. The smell might be, I don't know. But, all right. We will be back tomorrow from, we're going to be here. We're going to get here.
Yeah, we're late today.
Yeah. Well, we stayed longer, but there's other stuff that needs to happen. So, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I don't think unless we're going on with Jerry. I have to confirm with Jerry's producer to see if we're doing the Jerry Agar show tomorrow at 9:30. So look out on our Twitter for a post that will tell you what time we're starting tomorrow. And as per usual, this has been an amazing day of it's Valentine's Day. Your favorite day?
Do you? Yeah. Do you have a workaround for the song?
I do.
Really?
Temporary.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. We actually started playing it on the intro. So here's the traffic song, written and performed by a police officer from RCIB. See you tomorrow.
helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for
All right.
bikes, and don't
Yep.
drive like a jerk that no one likes. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways, then go. Seatbelt, save your life indeed. And watch your driving, don't speed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Don't drink and drive or smoke some weed, because you might go to jail and not get freed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow.
Okay, I got to address a couple of things. One, check traffic services tomorrow, or between tonight and tomorrow, to find out when we're going live tomorrow, because we might start at 30 minutes early. And then let's see here. Someone said, Irish Vader said, such a good use of taxpayers' money right here. And, with an emoji that says rolling eyes. I got to tell you something. It really is. It's an amazing use of taxpayers' money, because a fraction of my day goes to answering your traffic and police questions on social media. How else would you get this information? Read a book? Well, you could, but you'd still need to interpret that information. Here you get to have direct access to traffic specialists to get your questions answered. Now, we talk about a lot of different things, and some of them are not as important as others to you, but to the person asking it, it's important information. So what we used to do is go to events, and we'd sit and talk to people. We'd go to barbecues. We'd talk to people and at car shows, and yeah, we answered questions because that's part of our job. Education is part of our job. Traffic safety includes an education component. And guess what? That's it. Right there. Wait, thumbs, fingers, I don't know. We're doing the education. We create content that is both archivable and the live stream stuff. If you don't like it and you don't think it's value, don't tune in. But it is a good value because we see thousands of people. Here we're almost 3,000 people for this live stream on TikTok alone, which is the platform you're in. But we also have this on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Oh wait, it's Twitch, LinkedIn. Like, it's everywhere, and we have different people engaging with the content for long periods of time. So it's valuable, and the public seems to think it's a great thing, even though you don't. So I appreciate your comments. I'm glad that I had a chance to chat with you about it, and we're out, like really, really out. This is the really, really out song. And we'll be back tomorrow at either 9:30 or 10. Check us on Twitter, Traffic Services, on that platform, Traffic Services Toronto. I won't post it there. That was the Instagram handle. But you know what? Check out that link and follow us everywhere, because it's just the right thing to do.